yeah, thank you for coming for this event, and I'm glad to see all the new friendly faces. Okay. So, as an opening remarks, humans are capable of reasons. Our knowledge and past experiences shape how we view this world. We integrate the concepts of this world to build our own belief system. So, today's event, we will discuss a specific belief system which is spiritual but not religious.
Okay.
So, our expert for today, Ricky, will explain us the difference between spirituality and what is being religious.
Okay.
We can start with the question. To know we're dealing with, right? It might be obvious, but what is spirituality to you?
Okay. Actually, as we will see later in the questions, for me, there's a difference between being spiritual and being religious. Now, the basic of spirituality, I think, is you believe in something aside from the material world. That there is something out there which is not exactly under classical physics. It is not gas, liquid, or solid. And it is something which you believe in and is conscious. That one. So basically, that's it.
So something beyond our physical existence.
Yeah, beyond the physical existence.
So I think this is what we both agree on, that if you follow religious line of reasoning, it missed the target of what we consider real spirituality. So can you elaborate more on what's the difference between what is being spiritual and what is being religious?
Yan. Okay. A lot of people kasi, they believe that, religion started as is, with the gods, with the deities, with the people you're supposed to worship, with the entities you're supposed to worship, with all these rights and wrongs. But before that, there was spirituality. It wasn't a religion yet, or at least it wasn't what they call right now organized religion. It was case to case, and I think before, what happened was people would just, see the dead, see energies or spirits within trees, within nature, and that was the basic idea of spirituality. Nowadays, some people, they don't like religiosity for whatever reason. Okay, some say that the gods aren't moral to start with. Some say that the idea of morality isn't also exactly moral, even just basing it on the scriptures. Okay, especially the secular. A lot of the secular don't like it. Now, what I always tell them, that is being religious, but there are versions of spirituality which do not exactly follow that. So if you're going to make it really bare spirituality, it is there, no? You believe in something out there. You don't exactly know what is right and wrong. There may or they may not be a God, because there is such a thing na you have spirituality but there is no God. Okay? Like they say that Buddhism is an atheistic religion. There is no God. Some will say, no, Buddhism is a non-theistic religion. There is no God. Of course, there are versions of Buddhism where you kind of believe or worship gods, but the very, very bare one, the philosophy of Buddhism, I think really has no God. See, I think Taoism is also a religion and it's also spirituality. There is also no God. Okay, that's already actually the third question, no? But I can expound on that, no? Now, the other thing is, what we know, our version of religion, what we assume is that God is perfect, which means He's omnipotent, He can do anything. He's omniscient, He knows everything. He's omnibenevolent, He is perfectly good. Actually, according to Karen Armstrong of, the Book of God, something like that, she said that there are only 3 religions which believe that God is perfect. Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. All of the others, you have a God, but they do not claim omnipotence. Like in Hinduism, we have a lot of gods, and each one has its own. It's like they have their own territory, they have their own functions. So it's like the Greek gods and the Roman gods. And when you look at it, you know very well that the Greek and the Roman gods are not exactly moral. They are like men and they fight against each other.
So when you try to level something that's abstract, it become religion, right? When you try to level that this is the God, we call this God, blah, blah, blah. Is that the concept of religion to you, right?
Yeah, actually, I think what differences spirituality from religion is not that religion has a God and spirituality doesn't. Because some that are spiritual and but not religious, they believe in God, but they are not sure themselves on what His qualities are. Okay? So they just, like me, I just call Him generic. I call Him the source. No trademark, no branding. Okay? I think what differences religion from spirituality is in religion, you may or may not have a hierarchy, but it's usually organized. Like in Christianity, there is a hierarchy. In Catholicism, there is a hierarchy. The Pope is supposed to be on top. In Christianity, Protestants, there is no one person leading all the Protestants. But within the congregations, there is a hierarchy. I think in Islam, there is no hierarchy. Okay? So, however, the difference with religion is it's quite organized. They have a book. They are quite strict with their book and they kind of follow it. There is doctrine, there is dogma, there are things you should and should not do. Okay? Because the others in spirituality, it's very vague. When you say spiritual but not religious, the people, they're just there, they meditate, they believe there's a higher power, they try to connect to it. But if you ask them, what's his name? I don't know, I don't care. All I know is that He is the source, He is my creator, and at the end, I'm going to go there. Do you believe in reincarnation? They will say, I am not sure. So it's like if you have several martial arts, and the religions are the martial arts, the spiritual but not religious is the MMA. It's not strict. Okay, you can go from here to there and no one will care. And normally they don't fight over I am right and you are wrong because all of them know that there is really no proof. See, so it is not exactly a claim, but it is more of I believe this, it makes me feel good, I am not sure if it's true, but I will follow my life assuming it is true anyway. See, not like in religion, a lot of religion is I believe it, it is a matter of faith, and I am sure.
Yeah.
It's like that. So, ang nangyari is there are two sides. One says, I believe in my religion, this is definitely true, God definitely exists. And on the other side, God definitely doesn't exist. And then at the middle, we have the agnostics, which can say, I'm not sure if there is no God. Okay? And sometimes the atheists call them atheists without balls. That's what they're called. And then on the other side, you also have the spiritual but not religious. It's like the MMA. They say, I'm spiritual. I don't know exactly. There is no proof. But I'm here anyway. And when there is a discussion, the atheists will fight with the religious while the agnostics and the spiritual but not religious, they're just watching. See, that's usually what happens.
Can you explain why most people are religious and not tend to be spiritual?
Nako, that's controversial, but there are several reasons. Number one, what Richard Dawkins said was because they were born into it. Okay, that's the only thing they really know. And due to peer pressure, they're there. So they stay there, and then their parents insist that they're there. Okay, so they cannot leave. In some religions, you're not supposed to leave. But you can join or you cannot join. But once you're in, you cannot go out. In some religions naman, you can leave, but you are forced to join. You know what I mean? I don't have to name the religions, but some are like that. See, you really have pressure. Like I have friends that the husband is a Chinese Buddhist. The wife is a Christian. The parents are forcing the kid to be baptized. And they don't care about, what the husband says. You have him baptized or he's going to go to hell. Things like that, no? So, I think that's the prime reason.
Yeah. I think the objectivity is the main factor, right? Objectivity of something like this should be done like this.
Yeah.
Objectivity. I think most people also don't like uncertainty of their belief system. that there must be a solid ground of concept of God, right?
Yeah, the others, their angle is you have to believe in something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they always say. Whether that's valid, I don't know. No, because for me, you don't have to believe in something to, be good or anything.
Okay, cool. So it is commonly accepted that if some spiritual realm exists, right? It is commonly accepted that there must be some kind of a being that exists in that realm, right? So does spirituality require a concept of God?
Yan. As I answered a while ago, when you say spirituality, there is something other than the physical world. And in the other side, there are conscious beings. Okay, now what they assume is that the powerful ones are called gods, and the powerful ones are called angels or whatever, and the most powerful one is called God. It's like that. In Christianity, it's like that. But there are some versions of spirituality where there could be a God, but you don't have to worship Him. Okay? Like in Buddhism, I think Buddha didn't even advise you to worship gods. Okay? This is the bare bones, the Buddhism, the philosophy. No?
But
I don't
but in
think
your
it requires-
spirituality, it does it don't have a God, right? In your
No,
version.
like this. This is my style kasi. I call Him Source. Wait, sige, I'll explain my spirituality. My version is like this, no? There is another world. I am connected to it. I came from what I call the source, the one on top. If it's like Star Wars, it's like the Force, the one on top. I am connected to it just like a computer is connected to the mainframe. Okay? You and Him are one. The moment you get the passwords, you get to know and think the way He does. You get to do things like the way He does. You get your energy from there. So He's like a Meralco also. He's like, where you get your electricity. He's there, but for me, I don't have to worship Him. Because even if the God's not perfect, He shouldn't require worship. Okay? There are gods that require worship. Now, those gods, that's different, but there are. Okay? I think the Roman gods, the Greek gods, they're like that, no? Some gods are like that. But for me, if you were decent, you wouldn't require it. See? Because we can respect people without having to worship and bending on our knees. You follow? Like you have parents. Do they require you to worship them? No, you can appreciate them even without having to worship them. See? And our parents aren't perfect. And here is this God which you claim is perfect, but He demands worship. It's like, no, it doesn't make sense. See? So yeah, for me, I'm spiritual but not religious. I don't like that style, no? Now for me, before I grew up believing that God is perfect. However, if you're gonna follow this thing, the problem of evil, you will notice that it is really quite impossible to have a perfect God. I'll give the example now. Okay, this is the idea of problem of evil. A God that is powerful, all-powerful, can make everything happy. Okay? Can make everyone free from evil, free from suffering. A God who knows everything, knows where all evil is. And a God who is omnibenevolent would want to take off evil. There is evil in the world. Therefore, a perfect God does not exist. It's, for me, it's that simple. That's why I told myself, there are gods. I do not worship them. Okay? They're there. Okay? There can be guides. Okay? I respect them. But they are not perfect. They could make mistakes. Sabi ko I was telling myself. No? So, now, since they are not perfect, why do I have to call them a God? I said, I'll just call them a very powerful extraterrestrial. And with that line of reasoning, I ended up joining the atheist groups here in the Philippines. Because what's that? I considered myself an atheist before. But again, of course, the atheists there were, kind of confused. What kind of a guy is this, no? So right now, I just call myself spiritual but not religious. But actually, I can go both ways. That's why I kind of know the arguments of both sides. No, in fact, in in forums before, I would side with the atheists when they would fight with the religious.
So how could you respond to, because religion would say that our God still be perfect, but to justify evil, they would say that God just allow free will to evolve.
Yeah, okay, no. Actually, that idea, discussion of problem of evil is very long, okay, but I'll make it kind of short. You can have individuality and free will with no suffering. Okay? It's like this. I mean, people are born with deformities. I mean, what for? Okay?
Yep.
We know very well that you can play a computer game, no? And, when you get shot in Counter-Strike, they're not going to hit you over the head and say, you have to suffer in order to be a better Counter-Strike player. Okay? You have free will. The moment you die, you can be respawned and then you play again after 5 minutes. See? So if you wanted free will with people, you could do the same with them. You do what you want. Okay? You're not going to hurt anybody. You shoot each other in the face. No one gets hurt. And after that, you play again. You're respawned, just like a computer game. But here in life, the moment you're shot, you're dead. And before you die, you're suffering. See? That's why I said, how can that be? Here is a God, He's perfect. Why doesn't He make life like that? You can do what you want to do. You can play games. You can choose your gun. You can shoot each other. You can have blood coming out. And, it's not a game. You don't play with the mouse. It's really you. But after that, you respawn. So you can have your free will without having to undergo suffering.
So free will is like a lame reason for evil
For me, yeah. It's like they're trying to give an excuse over something which they cannot,
Okay. Okay, I think we can move on to the next one. Yeah, as I observe, you seem to be happy and fulfilled with your life. So how much has your belief system changed your life?
Oh, that's a long story. Okay, with me, personally, when I was young, I think I was atheist, ADHD. But I started meditating grade school. I was able to take off my stress. I was able to take off my insomnia. Shortly after, I was able to have self-awareness. Because of course, when you're, when you're autistic, you do so many crazy things. You're not socially aware. One day, I all of a sudden woke up and I said, Ricky, your friends don't like you. You stick out like a sore thumb. It's the awareness, no? And I think I got that from my meditation, no? So I kind of changed. No? I changed for the better, but I was still weird. What happened was, I didn't know how to get mad. I didn't know how to get envious. They were picking on me and I wasn't getting mad. It's like, I had stiff neck. They were doing like that. And I would look at them and I'd smile. Please stop, do not push my neck. That's how, And then later, I came out with this idea that whoever you worship or whoever you love, whoever you bind with, that's who you will be like. That's the idea in spirituality. That's one reason why they're telling you to be one with God. Because if your energies fuse, what's going to happen is you're going to be similar. Now, the problem with that is, of course, Jesus doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to be ambitious. So that's what happened to me. I didn't become ambitious. I was very happy, but I wasn't ambitious. So I had to ground myself. See? So right now, my meditation is 2 procedures. Connect to the top and then ground. So that I will look normal. Because it's, sometimes when you're very spiritual, you can be so happy, but everybody's sad and you cannot relate with jealousy. You cannot relate with the loss of a loved one. Imagine before I go to a wake and I'm smiling because for me, I believe in life after death. The person died but he was already, he wasn't happy anymore. So for me, I should be happy. I go to a family gathering, a relative died, and I treat it like a reunion. I'm smiling and, hi, I haven't seen you for a long time. So of course, you have to be normal, no? And then say, no, I have to act normal, no? So I'm there and then, how's everything? How did he die? You should act a little concerned. But strictly speaking, when I'm there, yeah, that's how it was. When I was meditating, it's like I was a stoic. Nothing pisses me off anymore. See, so yun. But the character really changed, and then the idea of morality changed also. No, because when you feel a oneness between you and something else, all these strict commandments of your religion, it's already kind of there. And you know that you're not supposed to do something because it's like you're doing it to yourself. So there, that one, it changed me a lot.
So with the concept of detachment, which is also a teaching of Buddhism, right? Can you also elaborate the application of detachment?
Ayan, wait ha.
Relationship?
My version is different ha. Like this kasi, in some religions, as long as you mean well, you go to heaven. In Buddhism, they say attachment is the cause of suffering. And then later, upon meditation, I figured na that's not attachment only physically. Okay? Even if you're attached in terms of love, that is also a sin. Okay? That's the scandalous part where a lot of Catholics are freaking out. Of course not. How can you fall in love if you're not attached? That's what they always tell me. And I said, after a while, you manage to do it, that you can appreciate things, you can fall in love, but you're not attached. Like for example, but this isn't love. There are, cooks or people who love to eat, okay? They enjoy the food. They're going to pig out. They're connoisseurs. But the moment they gain 10 pounds, they're going to stop and say, I'm going to fast, okay? They enjoy it. They're a hedonist, okay? They'll enjoy it more than you do. But when you tell them to stop, because they have already gained 10 pounds, they will stop. See? So it's also not true that you have to be attached in order to enjoy life. So that's my style also. No, I enjoy life to the hilt, but the moment I'm getting attached, I back off. There. So that's my style. But I understand a lot of religions are like that. You're not supposed to love money. You're not supposed to enjoy sex and all of these things. See? So that's also my difference there.
In terms of personal relationship, because it's quite unsatisfying when you try to make some connection with the other person, and you try to involve detachment, right? So, because relationship, especially with your loved ones, you need to link with them, right?
Yeah.
So, how can you incorporate the concept of detachment in your family?
That's why I haven't had a girlfriend for 25 years. I just treat everyone like my brother, sister, and kids. Ganun na lang, no? However, I bond with them, I take them out, we eat out and all that, no? But I don't wanna have, because yun nga, people have a hard time understanding how I can care for someone without being attached and without having a commitment. And of course, they're gonna say, we understand you, but later, it's going to come back and bite you, see? So to play safe, I don't, because I made it such that when you're connected, as they say, Jesus Christ is your boyfriend or whatever, no? So parang I just did it that way na lang, no? Besides, at my age, sabi ko, what you're looking for are already children and grandchildren. I'm 62.
And then next set of questions, we will examine spirituality on how a spiritual person reason. So I understand that our understanding of reality depends on our senses. That is, it depends on the information that enters in our brain, right? But can we guarantee that there is something beyond our physical existence, right? So, in terms of logical discussion, right, before we say that this is that, this is this, we base our reasoning from what we call premises or a priori. So, in terms of your belief system, what are the things that you consider before you can say that there's something beyond our physical existence?
Okay. Well, like this, no? Me, since I have time on my hands, I'm semi-retired, I was able to research, no? But a lot of people, because of course I'll speak for the others then, they don't anymore bother to do that. The moment they feel oneness, the moment they get intuition, they feel that there's something beyond. Okay? Like for example, supposing there's a girl, because females are more intuitive than men, they feel that something's wrong. My boyfriend is acting normal, but I feel that there is another woman. Yung like that. Some of them, just by the idea that they can sense, and if they feel they have a track record, they will believe that there is a world out there other than the material. Okay? Now me, I've had experiences like that, but for the other people, for scientific discussion, the best examples I can see are the NDEs, the near-death experiences. Okay? The secular will say that, okay, what are near-death experiences? These are cases when the people have been considered dead. As in, no heartbeat, no brain waves. Okay? They're practically dead, but what happens is a part of them flies off their body, sees what's happening on the operating table, and then they come back, and then they say exactly what they saw. See? For me, you know, it's kinda, already. It means that the mind can function outside. And sometimes, no, well, some of them, they go through a tunnel and all this, and the seculars say, you know, that tunnel, Ricky, is due to the remembering going through the mother's birth canal and all. I say, yeah, that can make sense, but not all cases are like that. There are cases nga that, you know, flatlined, they can see what's happening in the operating room. They can see what's happening on the roof. They can see what's happening on another room. They can see they talk to their dead relatives. And sometimes the people that are blind, when they go out, they can describe things as if they can see. No? And the only way you can discredit all of that is if all of them are lying. No? And it's just too many. You cannot say all of them are lying. And even Carl Sagan before was wondering how come there are these kids that claim that they came from another life, and then they were able to state the conditions on that previous life which occurred decades or hundreds of years ago. And when they interviewed, you know, the other people there, they said, yeah, these things existed, this house existed, this is how it looked. You know, everything seems right. So for me, that one, you know, and there are a lot. You just look NDE, or you can Google near-death experiences, and you will see that you have a lot from spiritual people to atheists to agnostic. They're all represented there, and all of them will state, you know, what happened.
Yeah, as always, spirituality faces scrutiny from other groups, especially from atheist or agnostic group, right, for the lack of evidence. Yeah, I also asked this one for you. In terms of spirituality, what are the proofs that we can rely?
There nga, the near-death experiences. That is the easiest to check.
How about like everyday life experiences?
There are a lot of experiences, but it's all anecdotal. Okay, now, if you're going to go to the people who have relatives who are about to die, you can also hear a lot of things which they will say. Especially all these nurses that are staying in old age homes and they see people that are about to die. The dead people, of course, they can be told as hallucinations. Almost all of them end up seeing their dead relatives before they die. You know, of course, it can be a hallucination, of course, yeah, but you know, aside from that, it's basically the NDE. The other things are like flashes of intuition or déjà vu. That's the other thing. Okay.
How about reported from like monks or like the one who meditates a lot? Is there any evidence from there?
I think there are. But the one that's easier is the people who have taken hallucinogenics, or what they call psychedelics. It is known as ayahuasca or DMT, or see, a lot of you are nodding because I'm sure you have heard stories. Okay? Or that is because the others, when they meditate, they reach that state. Okay? But the others, they don't have to meditate, they take that. Not that I'm saying that you go and take it, no, because if you don't do it right, you might die, no. But you can ask them, no. They get to see entities, they talk to them, they are given advice, and based on the advice which is given to them, their lives changed. See? And what I know is on the eras before, a lot of people used to take it. I think American Indians take peyote, no? And that is illegal in the US unless you are an American Indian. It is like a rite of passage. See? And if it were just, nonsense, then how come when these people come out, all of a sudden their lives change for the better? Of course, there are what they call bad trips that they end up seeing not so nice things, no? But the others, you have a sense of oneness, you have, the things which spirituality says. It comes out. So that's another thing, no? Now, if science were really was serious about pursuing and checking it out, it's easy naman to check out. I said, you're talking to the entity, then you ask him, how's my brother in the other side of the world? If you're really correct. I mean, you can test it naman that way, di ba?
Yep.
Why don't they do that? See, because they're afraid of finding out that it's true. Di ba? It's easy naman to test things like that, eh.
Yeah, so you mentioned science, right? And science is built on scientific evidence, experiments, and observation. So how would you incorporate your spiritual beliefs to the scientific reasoning?
Well, yun na, because there are two kinds. You have deductive, you have inductive. When it's in deductive, it's like with syllogisms.
Yeah.
No, I'm not exactly, I can't give an example now, no, but you know what you mean by deductive. If you have this premise, therefore there is this premise.
Yep.
Okay. Now with inductive, they end up saying the third premise is not, you are not sure, but it's possible. No? And a lot of spirituality is inductive. Or it is, statistically, but it's not sure. See? But some people, like me nga, it's okay, even if it's not sure, I'm going to follow it. And there are so many things in life right now which we decide on, and it has not exactly been proven yet. Like, for example, the people that go to the gym, no? There are so many things you do which the doctors don't like. Okay? Like fasting. I don't know if fasting right now is considered medically proven. No? The last time I talked to someone who was a teacher in a school and she was considered very good, I asked her, what do you think of fasting? Ricky, what we believe in medicine is you are supposed to have small, frequent feedings. That's opposite to fasting.
Yep.
See, and yet a lot of people fast. And if you're going to ask these people, where is your proof? They will say, I don't care. I lost so many pounds. My health is better now. My white hair has disappeared. I don't care what proof you're asking about. It works for me, and that's all that counts. See, a lot are like that, and it's fasting. See? And there are so many other things. Like before, you cannot eat more than 1 egg a day. Do you know how many eggs these bodybuilders take? Sometimes 10 eggs a day. They're like that, and they're
I
not
take
dying.
3.
Oh, see, you take 3. You tell that to a doctor, he's going to complain. Di ba? I don't think the doctor's going to allow that.
Yeah, in terms of discussion of probabilities and uncertainties, of course, some statements are less probable than others. Less probable than others. You have different versions of spirituality. So, in your versions, how certain are you that your spirituality is
Well,
true?
it has helped me cope. It has helped me, I took off my stress, I took off my insomnia, I became more self-aware. The bad emotions like enviousness and jealousy and all that, it's gone. No? So for me, that's good enough. Okay? Plus some other soft skills which I got, like I can get along with everyone. We talked about that lately. My character is very, very malleable. No? I get along with the poor, the rich, everyone. No? The gays, the straights, no? They treat me like one of them. And I think I attribute that to my spirituality also. Because when you meditate on the one which you meditate on the nothingness, it can strip your and take off your trauma.
Yep.
And later, I found out not only your trauma, even your mannerisms and all that, it can strip it off. So what I do is I meditate on the nothingness, I take off the character and then I rebuild it later. Okay? And sometimes the rebuilding is done so well that people actually think na, some people have actually come to me, like for example, I was going out with this woman for 2 years. The daughter comes to me, Ricky, can you speak English? Imagine. And I said, yes, I can speak English. Because your mom speaks Tagalog, I speak Tagalog all the time. You don't even think. It becomes so easy to shift. See? With the ano. So, it helps me a lot. Yeah.
So you're more tend to care about the practicality of spirituality.
Well, for me, that's practical because my mental health. No, the idea that's why for me it's alien when people say I'm lonely. It says you're lonely. You're in the internet. With me, it's very very easy to meet friends. No matter what age, from the youngest to the oldest. There, I go out with them. They ask me out. No, from the 20s to the 70s.
Yeah. How would you respond to the criticism of spirituality that it's based only from hearsay, that it's not based on scientific understanding?
Yeah, it's not falsifiable, if that's what you're going to ask.
Yeah.
And the spiritual people wouldn't care less, to tell you the truth. We don't care less because our point is we're happy about it. We don't make any claim. So you live your life, we live our life, and we will see who is happier, you or me. Parang basically ganun yan eh. No? So with us, well, the religious are gonna complain. As I told you, the two people fighting there are the religious and the secular.
Yep.
Okay. But the ones in the middle, we don't care.
Yeah.
Okay? So again, that's the agnostics, the spiritual but not religious. The others are called the nuns, which means, what's your religion? My answer is none. They're called the nuns. The others are called the duns. I'm done with religion. Them, they also don't care. Okay? Now, in secular countries, I surfed before. How many people are spiritual? And this is the weird thing. Some are atheists, some are religious, but there is a big portion there which is neither, but they say they believe in a power there which they cannot explain. So, they're spiritual, no? So you can't even say that these secular countries are majority atheists. No. I think a lot of them are spiritual. It's just that they don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I think there's also a concern of we need to align our values to something, right? And for you, that is spirituality.
Yeah, well, like this, the secular calls it empathy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with the spiritual but not religious, we call the empathy do unto others.
Yep.
And they say, we are all one, therefore what I do to you comes back to me, therefore I won't do it. And that is in a lot of belief systems, and I think even the secular will say that. No? They even, even the illiterate will say that. That's known, see?
Yeah.
There is no proof, but they still say it. See? So that's what I'm saying. You don't really need full proof in order to follow something. But the thing is, if you don't have full proof, don't piss everyone off by claiming that you are sure.
Yep.
No, as long as you're not insisting that you are right, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I just finished reading Critic of Pure Reason by Immanuel Kant a few days ago, and it just deprived my brain to crisp. That it even questioned our own human reasoning, right? So how would you respond to the, I would say, intangible concept of God or intangible concept of spiritual realm that is beyond our physical experience? Because these things are, we cannot completely comprehend these transcendental entities. How would you respond to that?
No, so what's the problem? Because a lot of the spiritual, they believe that we can't get it now. We may not even be able to understand it before we die. So there's, for them, yun nga, they don't have to know the full answer in order to act on something.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I'll give other scientific examples, even in the corporate world, things they follow where there is no proof. Because this is what happens. Some say, I will not believe it if I cannot find the mechanism to figure out why it happens. Diba? Now, sometimes for traders as in the stock market,
Yep.
no? Some do it by fundamentals, which means they check the GDP, they check the PE ratio, they check like that. No? But there are others that they just look at the graph and then they will know if it's going to go up or down. No one can find the mechanism for that. They just know that after it goes up this much, it will retrace 32% or it will retrace 68%. If you ask them why, they say, I don't know, but I follow it. Okay, my father said, Ricky, they know that that thing works because when someone read it, therefore everyone's following. I said, no. Elliot and these other people were looking at the graphs and they found that there was a trend. And that's why they talked about the trend. No? So imagine just by the graph, before there was someone working at the office I stayed in. She doesn't even read the papers. She just looks at the graphs because she wants to be pure, no bias. She looks at the graph which has the highest price for the day, lowest price for the day, closing price for the day, how much amount was sold for each stock, and she will tell you if it's going to go up or down. No one knows the mechanism, but still, they're going to follow it. See, it's like that. That's how a lot of decisions are made. If you're going to ask a marketing person, if he has to report to his boss, he's going to say, I did this because of this.
Yep.
But if he's a top person, I did it because I feel the market is like this.
Yep.
It may or may not be logical. If you're going to talk to a pickup artist, okay, you can be illiterate, okay? But I would rather ask advice from an illiterate pickup artist who has a track record, even if it is, what's this? Even if there are no studies, then talk to a psychologist who's a PhD. Why? Because he has a track record and he can do it. I don't care how he does it. No, if he does it through body language or what, but he knows when a girl is easy or not. No, and some people are like that. They look at your eyes, they will know if you're lying. No, they will look at you, and they will know. There are people like that.
Is that based on emotion?
They feel it. They feel it. Oo. See, like this idea that the eyes are the windows of the soul. In spirituality, the idea there. Actually, I saw this in a witchcraft book I read. It said that when you look through the eyes, you kind of bind your energy and you will sense the energy of the person, if the person is lying or not, or whether she is easy or not. And if you want to make her fall in love with you, you can transfer the energy to her. Okay? The pickup artists can do that. But, these PhD psychologists are not going to do that. Who do you think will I ask advice from? I'll ask the advice from the pickup artist.
So spirituality in a nutshell is about connection and not
Yeah.
nothing
A lot
to do
of it
with-
is about connection, but the connection is not there in the physical world. And do not say that it is body language, because some people will claim that it is even beyond body language. Like yun nga like some women, they can say, I think my boyfriend is fooling around. How do you know he's not even here? Wala, I just feel it. Some are like that. They can tell, no?
So some meditators just meditate on nothingness, like myself. Is that also considered spirituality, that you are not actually linking to something transcendental?
It depends on who you ask. Kasi in Buddhism, some people are Buddhists or they practice Buddhism and they thought that I'm secular and there is no spirituality. I said, no, actually Buddha was spiritual. But I don't think anybody minds if you practice Buddha without the spirituality. Okay? Psychologically, I think you can practice your nothingness without linking.
Yeah.
That can be done, no?
Yeah.
No problem, no? Because it is like you're making your subconscious come out so you will know it. You are not feeding your anxiety. So pwede yun, no? But you try linking to something else and you will see that it's different. But of course, they'll say that's placebo, di ba?
Yeah.
That's what they'll say, it's placebo. But again, I mean, they don't even know what placebo is. Maybe placebo is actually the spirituality. You don't know eh. So it's really trial and error, and you do it by feel. The problem is if you do it by feel, it's not measurable. So you just keep on doing it. I mean, there's nothing to lose naman eh. Diba?
Yeah, of course, critic of spirituality would say, yeah, you need to defend these statements. They would say that spirituality is just nonsense, that it's just a byproduct of our human imagination. So how would you respond to that?
Actually, the spiritual people don't care what they think. To tell you the truth, they don't care.
That's why they're happy.
The religious will probably care, okay, what they think. But the spiritual will say, bahala ka sa buhay mo. It's up to you because I see you are more depressed than me. That's what a lot would probably say. O see? And even according to some of the atheists we talked to, they said that if you're going to look at the metrics, a lot of the metrics show that spiritual people are more mentally stable than Why? I don't know, but that's what I suspect also because it's the connection. No, but defend. The spiritual but not religious. They don't care to defend. Really, they really don't care to defend. It's like I'm like this, you're like that. You do what you want. I'm not bugging you. See, but the religious, yeah, they will defend.
Yep. I observed that some atheists are quite anxious that spiritual people believe in this kind of abstract objects, right?
Yeah, actually, to tell you, nako, my is coming out, but spiritual people are also anxious on how come atheists do not believe. It's the same, eh? It's just that a lot of spiritual people just keep it to themselves. But to tell you the truth, they're also wondering why you don't believe.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's both ways. It's just that some are more vocal about the rest.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like this. For example, the book I wrote, The Force, Rediscovering the Obvious. My friends say, Ricky, that's actually an insult. Why? You're saying it's rediscovering the obvious. I said, yeah, because unless you are insensitive, you will feel it. And I think a lot of spiritual people will say that. You feel it naman eh. What is there to discuss about? See, but they're not gonna tell that to your face.
Yeah.
No? But I can imagine a lot of them, and that's why you're like that. They're like that. They really don't, they really won't care anymore. See, we don't have to defend anything because we are not claiming anything. We say that is what we believe in. We are not sure, but it makes us happy, so leave us alone. That's the way they're gonna think. But they're not gonna say it up front. Okay? But, wait. But yun nga, if I was gonna act like a lawyer and defend it, I would say the near-death experience. And if they say, Ricky, that has been debunked, I would say, for you to say it doesn't exist, you have to debunk everything. You cannot debunk one. Okay? It's like, if there is a guy, he's being sued for 5 counts of murder, and the guy is already acquitted on one, you cannot say, I acquitted one, therefore he's acquitted in all. No. You have to debunk all these near-death experiences and prove that they were all lies. See, not only the ones which you can conveniently debunk.
So you're implying that spirituality have an upper hand in terms of mental stability. Is that what you are saying?
That didn't come from me. That came from a guy in our other group. I got shocked when he said that, to tell you the truth. Of course, the other part is, I believe, some of the religious are deluded. Of course, no?
Yeah.
Some of them, because, they insist that it is true when, we all know that there is no proof, okay? So both sides have their bad eggs, okay? But according to some of the atheists and the secular, they said they're happier, they're less stressed, and one guy who's an experimental physicist says that when it comes to Alcoholic Anonymous, the people who end up calling God and are religious, the success rate is higher. That's what he said.
Yeah.
See? Because I don't care to figure out the statistics because I know it helps me, But, I'm just telling you, I think you were there, right?
Yeah.
He said that, he's an experimental physicist. And he's secular, and he's the one who said that, Plus the other guy, the father and son, yeah, he was the one. In fact, what he said, I got shocked, was he said all the metrics show that the spiritual, actually he said the theists or the religious said they're happier or whatever. That's what he said. See,
So I think the only concern is that when we try to see the world objectively, that there's some objective moral source, right? And we try to apply this ideology, and there's a danger to that, right?
yeah, yun nga, because not all religions are the same. Me, I'm spiritual but not religious. I also disagree with a lot of the morality which religion preaches. No, I really disagree with it. And sometimes it's not even really the same. Like in some religions, being gay is bad.
Yeah.
But you know, you go to Thailand, you're gonna ask why are there so many lady boys? It's because Buddhism is very tolerant to lady boys. There's no problem, see?
Yeah.
So you cannot also say, because here we have one big religion
Yep.
and we are following that. But you will see that there are other religions which are very, very lax. Like there nga, the Buddhism, for them, there's no big deal. No? In fact, they don't even fight na, I'm a girl or I'm a boy or like that. No, I'm not a girl, I'm not a boy, I'm a lady boy. No one complains. Oh,
Yeah.
they're very, very about it.
Yeah, so there's no objectivity in spirituality, right?
None. Because there's really, to tell you the truth, there's no objectivity in a lot of things. The exact sciences you have now are classical physics.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the very small or the very big or very fast, the classical physics goes down the drain.
Yeah.
You have to follow quantum or you have to follow relativity. Psychology is not an exact science. Okay? In fact, before they were following Jung and what's the other guy who is so preoccupied with sex?
Freud?
Freud, no? And now they're saying, they're admitting there's really no proof. There's really no proof. It's all anecdotal evidence. So now they're kind of debunking him. But I don't know whether, I like Jung, even if there's no proof, no? But there, economics, I heard, has no proof. Okay? And a lot of other things have no proof. A lot of people we follow on the internet talking about narcissistic people, pickup artists and all that, there is no proof. Okay? A lot of these things we read on health, no? Arguably, I don't know if there's proof, no? But the medical establishment will say there's no proof. Eating 3 eggs a day, Diyos ko. They'll get mad at you. Fasting, ay nako, they're going to say you're going to have ulcers.
Yep.
No? Things like that. So, there are a lot of things which, it's just that religion got a bad name. Why? Because some of the religious are makulit. Diba? If they weren't makulit, there wouldn't be a problem. What's makulit in English? They're very persistent. Yeah. See, if they weren't persistent, there really would be no problem. But since, they're rubbing everyone the wrong way, then we have this problem.
Yep.
Okay? If they weren't like that, there would really be no problem. They insist they are right. They insist that you're going to hell and they're not going to hell. Talagang there will be a problem like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the main problem in history in general, right? That an ideology would say that there is an objective value source and we must follow that. That's why we have different version of religion, blah, blah, blah. And they have a different claim about objectivity. And I think that's what we both agree on.
But even the secular naman hasn't made up its own objective value system. No? Like some will say, it is good depending on your intention.
Yeah.
No? Some theists will say that also. Some secular will say that also. And even that is questionable.
Yeah.
So, yun nga rin So what we do in some versions of spirituality, they say each to his own, depending on your character, depending on the culture you are living in. Okay? Like for example, in some places, okay, the man is supposed to open the door for the woman.
Yep.
Okay. In Europe, if you do that, they might get mad at you. They'll say, I'm a feminist, you don't do that for me, or implying that I am not. I am inferior.
Yep.
See, so it depends on the culture also. So the rights and wrongs are depending. Whether or not there is an objective right and wrong, I feel there is, and it is that do unto others thing.
Yeah.
But again, that do unto others is interpreted differently with different people.
Yep.
Because in some religions, what they do is the do unto others, it has to be physically done. Okay? Like you're supposed to kill somebody, it is bad. However, if you're thinking of killing him, that's questionable. Now, with my version, every mental state you have is considered an action. So, even if you're an envious, it is already questionable.
Yeah.
Because for us, every little thought already has it's already kind of material already. So, yun nga, that's the difference also.
For what I understand, that's why religion is successful because they have this notion of objectivity, right?
No, religion is successful for me because it is a community. People like communities.
I see.
See, so if it is, so what's happening there is if you have, in fact, some of the seculars say that. They say that what we miss about religion is the community. That's why some people actually want to have an atheist church. They want to have that so that they can all get along with each other. It's the community they want. If you took off the community, a lot of them would crumble.
Yeah, because we are a social species.
Yeah, it's a social.
We have only one life to live, so we don't care about what is true. I just care what I feel or.
Yeah, because there is this meme. It says, it is better. People are gonna go to the nice lie. It is better than the truth, which will hurt. Something like that. Which is it's true.
Yeah. I think I understand that. Like practicality of.
So what's happening now, in order to make more money or in order to make friends, is you do not say the truth. You just tell them what they want to hear so that you have more viewership in your Facebook account.
Yeah.
You have more money. You have, things like that.
Yeah.
And with the capitalism, of course, that's the only way. Because if you tell the truth, they're not gonna listen to you.
Sometimes it quite bother me for the sake of practicality, we kind of say lie or make
you will. People are going to say lies, or they're not going to tell the full truth.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend. This is what he says. Ricky, if I told the truth and I get interviewed by you, I'm not going to get laid. See, and us men, we know that's true. See, diba it's true?
Yep.
Yeah, that's why a lot of men. We shut up. We're not going to tell it to their face.
Yeah.
Okay, but we agree with it. It's like that also. It's also, religion. I asked a question before in our spiritual group. I asked, if you found out that your religion was a lie, but of course it has so many adherents, are you going to say it's a lie? I want to disband it? And no one wanted to answer because, the end justifies the means. So, yun nga that's the problem there. People don't want to say the full truth.
Okay, in this discussion, I think we need to mention Sam Harris because he wrote the book Waking Up, which is aligned to our discussion. Yeah, in his view of spirituality, he just said that it is derived from the Latin word spiritus and translated to pneuma, which is a Greek word, which is just mean to breathe, right? And nothing to breathe, just to breathe, just to relax or like that, to breathe.
I don't know the ano.
So, one of his main concerns is that maybe we just misinterpret brain activity, like firing of neurons inside our head, as a form of spirituality, and there's actually nothing beyond our
Yeah. I heard of that. Actually, that's a big discussion on whether your mind is in your brain or your mind is elsewhere.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Ngayon, with spirituality nga, the idea is that it's possible that the mind is outside and the brain is just a vessel. The physical body is a vessel, but your consciousness is actually elsewhere. It's in your soul. And if you're gonna follow multiverse theory, what happens there is your body is here, but you have several universes in you on top of each other, and your consciousness is in another universe.
Yeah.
That's the idea there, no? Now, these are some things to ponder on. There has been a person who had only 9% of his brain. They actually checked it. He was functioning well. You can Google Mike the Headless Chicken, and he lived several months after his head was chopped off. And he died because they ended up feeding him too much. I think he suffocated or something. No. And the seculars were saying, you forgot to take off the brain stem. I said, then why don't you take off the brain stem so we can figure it out once and for all if the brain stem was involved? Anybody can pull off the brain stem. Any doctor, I guess, can pull off the brain stem.
Yeah.
So, if you're scientific and you really wanted to know the truth, why hasn't anyone tried it? You chop off the brain. No? They're going to say it is the remnants of the things firing. I said, yeah, that can be done, but it wouldn't have, I think, any balance, because I guess the balance will come from the brain. It's not coming for the leg. So what's going to happen is the chicken will go like that and it's going to go like that. But we all know, you can ask farmers, when you chop off the head, they're going to run around the field. No? But you can do so many experiments on that, and that's not really cheap. No? And in the NDEs, they're brain dead, and their heart stopped, and when they come back, they tell you what they saw in the room. So, that answers the question, where is your consciousness? Is it inside or outside? Some spiritual people say it is outside, and the brain is actually like a receiver. So when you take off the receiver, the whole thing goes limp, but it was never there to begin with.
Yeah.
It was outside. That's the other idea they have.
If you connect your consciousness to some kind of a field, right? Can you elaborate more on that? This some kind of a
What their idea?
beyond?
Their idea is like this. Okay, it's like computers. Actually, it's like a network. So you have the source. All the consciousness was there. It moved or whatever. It came out with several consciousnesses, and then those things ended up connecting to the physical body. They're all connected. That's why there is a oneness.
Yeah.
Okay? When you are spiritual or when you are under those hallucinogenics, you sense that oneness and you are full of emotion and all that. Okay? And wait, what was your question?
I mean, like you explain or elaborate the connection, or what is this field that you are trying to explain?
Yeah, that field. And I think Tesla, was also into that. He was talking about something where all the energy comes from. So basically everyone is connected there. The problem is we all forgot where we came from because we are entrenched in this material world. But at the end, when we go back, we will see really what we are. That's the basic idea there.
How would you explain that me, you, and everyone here are totally different entity, right? That my consciousness are for myself only, and I sense no connection between these people.
Because we are... the further you go, the weaker your connection gets. Okay, so it is like our computers connected to the cloud. Okay, when we connect to the cloud, what the cloud has, as long as we have our passwords, we will know what the cloud has. Okay, you can go up to the cloud, and if you are a hacker, you go down and connect to the other person connected to the cloud. So in a way, everyone's connected.
Yep.
But you have to know how to connect to the cloud. That's basically the idea there of spirituality. The way I look at it, that's my model.
Yeah.
So if you become more evolved and you meditate, okay, first, if you're doing it the secular way, you take off all the short circuitry and the garbage in your computer, and then later you connect to the cloud. Then you get insights, information from the cloud. It is not logical, there is no proof, and that's how they get their insights. Like I think the way Jung got his insight, the way probably Tesla got his insights. No? And then, they figured out logically why it works, and there. Well, other people, I heard, they pass it off as fiction. Like what the guy in The Matrix did. He actually believes that stuff, but he said it's too weird to talk about, so he made it into a bestseller. But I heard he's a Gnostic who believes in all that stuff.
I think you're interested in quantum field theory, right? It might be very scientific, but you're trying to link this spirituality with some fields that permeates the space.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with that, no. But when Michael told me what quantum field is, I said, "Ay nako, that's what the spiritual people say, that something like nothing is matter, everything is energy." I said, they knew that for a long time ago already. That nothing actually exists, everything is energy. And it's just the frequency that differs.
Yeah, I think, because these fields are non-physical, right?
Like for example, the one with quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
Of course, before something comes from here and it goes there, there is a time. There is, it takes time before information here goes there, right?
Yeah.
In quantum entanglement, the moment this thing is in this state, this one becomes in that state, if I'm not mistaken, instantaneously.
Yep.
So if it's instantaneously, where do you think it went through? I don't think it went through the material universe. It could have passed through somewhere else. See?
Yep. So, of course, spirituality is a belief system, right? And it kind of affects our everyday life, our actions. So, how can you differentiate a person that is spiritual and something that is outside of his mind, or that is deluded or hallucinating?
You have to validate. Because believe it or not, some spiritual people, they kind of validate. It's not as hard. It's not as, how do you call this? It's not as perfect as the way scientists validate. They get the statistical this and that, and they get 100 people. But you can validate it. Like for example, you want to know how to meet girls, okay? I mean, after a few tries, you will know what is the best way to approach them.
Yep.
In a way, that's like validation, no? And in spirituality, you can also do that validation naman eh. Supposing you say, my intuition is high, I can tell if that person likes me or not, if, things like that. You can tell naman eh. Because after a while, you will know whether the person will fall for you or not. No, if you're a marketer and you're using your intuition to figure out whether a product will sell or not, you can figure out naman eh. Am I doing this logically, or am I doing it by feel? Or do my, do my premonitions make sense? You will know eh. After a while. So it's not like whatever you see is true, no. Okay? You have to validate after a while.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, but of course, it's not like the way science does it now. We need 1,000 cases so that there is no bias. No, we don't know how, so we just do it anecdotally. That's what's happening.
Okay, I think this is our last question for Ricky, for me, and you can ask questions later. Yeah.
You make one last question.
One more question. So I think this is the practicality of spirituality. You can elaborate as much as you like.
Already?
Yeah.
So
Yun na
what
nga. Is the practicality of...
With the meditation, the stress goes away. You can meditate, so you take off your, what do you call this? You take off your traumas, okay? Me, I can kind of do healing. There have been people who have come to me and they said, Ricky, I cannot forget my ex, okay? So, I've helped her, we meditated, and within 1 week, she went back to her ex's condo, she got her things, and then she wasn't traumatized. There was one case, a couple called me, and the guy apologized because he used to be beaten up by the father, and one time, he almost became violent to his wife in front of his daughter who was around 7 years old. Okay? So I healed the daughter, and it's funny, when the father came, the girl was shaking. Okay? I healed the girl, we had the meditation. After that, she kissed the father goodnight on the very same day. So there, you can take off the traumas, you can take off the attachment. It's easier to go asleep. If you meditate properly and you try to figure out your, I think what they call it is your shadow inside, and you say, I really want to know what's wrong with me, like to figure out your defense mechanisms. If you do it well, you'll be a better person because you will sense what people think about you, what you have to change and all that. No, you will not be a jerk. That's one. And then the other thing is you will get along with a lot of people. Because you will also notice whether you're pushing them the wrong way or not. Like for example, do you notice whenever we go to our philosophy groups, I want to push it. It's like I'm short of being rude, but I'm not rude. I come out with some ideas. Saying yes, But the moment I feel a person's offended, I back off right away. O see, that one you have to do really, really perfectly. And after a while, I was able to sense. And then after that, the person who got offended, you have to go to him, hi, how are you? And you make chika-chika. And you befriend them again. Yan. Kasi it's like this. One is, the first thing in spirituality is you fix yourself. After you fix yourself, you attempt to go through what Christianity calls gifts of the Holy Spirit or whatever. So the discernment of yourself, what's wrong with you, okay? And later, you should have a feel of your friends, why they like you, what they don't, what they like about you, what they don't like about you, and all that. You have to get along with all of them, no? So that is the sensing, no? The premonition and the reading the future later, we'll do more, Now, the other thing is, if you do it right, no, your presence can be such that if you don't like them to talk to you, you can make it blocked. And if you want them to talk to you, you can make yourself look harmless. See? Isn't that nice? And when you're harmless, the problem is everyone will go to you and ask you advice. No? So with me, it's automatic. I tell myself, when you're with a Chinese, you talk with a Chinese accent. Even if it's English. When you're with an American, you talk with an American accent. And you have to act more forceful. When you're with a Japanese, you have to be tame. So it's like, it's like a little game. No? Now, it gets harder because later I dared myself, Ricky, you should be able to change. Like, for example, Japanese, and then American, and then like that, no? You should be able to change it fast. And if you're good, you should be able to make it such na three of you are there talking, you should be able to be a good host and entertain both of them and have both of them talk. Yep. It really feels good. Like, there was time I was with, si Marge wala. We were walking in Taft Avenue, and then the dog just started following us. And then she goes, Ricky, the dog's following us. I said, that has happened to me. Dogs will follow me it followed us, I think 200 meters until we got to our condo. No, because even the dog likes your vibes. See? But yun lang with me, I do not make my vibes such that when they look at me, they think of sex. No, because for me, that's a little naughty. But it can be done. It can be done, okay? But I don't do that because, I don't like. I just want it na, I'm your big brother, I'm your daddy, like that, no? That's why, I will look harmless. They ask me, why are so many people going out with you? I said, because I look harmless. You can do that if your vibes are nice. Okay? It has to be strong, it has to be nice. And if the person you're talking to is strong, you have to make it such that he is not offended with your vibes. Yung talagang, it goes like this. Okay? There's a way to do that. That's why there are so many little things you can do with your spirituality. But again, that is bordering already on what other people would call magic. Because I was kind of like that also.
In terms of moral values.
In terms of morality, my morality naman is like this, no? The typical morality is you are bad if you hurt somebody physically.
Yeah.
With me, okay, my idea, or you hurt your creator, di ba? With me, in Buddhism, there is no one to hurt. It is law of cause and effect. There are other universes where if you do something, even mentally, it goes back to you. Because whatever you wish for somebody will go back to you. So if you say, I want to be rich, that's fine. But if you say, I want to be rich, but I want you to be poor, I sell you something, no, that's not allowed. Okay? So there, I'm very strict with that. And even if it's mental, that's why I take off your enviousness or jealousy or whatever. Out, everything, no? So there, that's how strict I am with myself, no? Even mental. And what I say, which some people feel a little pissed with, is I said, you can commit something which you didn't hurt anybody, but since you hurt yourself, it is a sin. Like for example, you worry too much, no one gets hurt. What you shove off is going to go back to you. So for me, it's like a scientific thing. It's not because you displease an entity, no. Because whether or not there's an entity to be displeased, it comes back. So basically, ganun lang.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for my side. Any question from you about spirituality for Ricky?
If you like to
Ask.
if you like pala to take meditation, and I will teach you to get into that state, no problem. You let me know. Okay? And
Meditation.
oh yan. She can't sleep and she's worried all the time eh. Yun. Yan, take off the stress. Or before nga in the spiritual group, I don't know, no one was coming. And then I said, you know what I can do? What? I'll look at you, I will tell you how come even if you're pretty, you're not attracting men. Because sometimes it's in the vibes. Diba? Oh, it's in the vibes eh. And then you're gonna complain, I'm beautiful. How come? Look at the person he married. No, it's not because he's rich or anything or good looking. It's because the vibes are pleasant. See, if a guy feels that you're clingy, he's not. Okay, if the guy feels na you're too career-oriented, you're worrying too much, he will not like you also. You have to have a certain vibes that the guys will like. Yan, I can teach that if you want.